Hello everyone, welcome to Winged Paper Crafting. My name is Angel Fitch. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you've all decided to join me today. Today we're going to do our second set of alternatives for the January 2026 Paper Pumpkin Kit called Special Delivery. And here are the 9 cards that you could have made had you done them as intended. But as you know, we don't do as intended around here, so we're going to change things up a bit. So as I'm getting out the cards that we're gonna do today, if I could ask you, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would love it if you join us. So just hit that button below and make sure you ring that bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. So today we're gonna start with, this is a card base that's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and we are going to give this a good burnish here. And this is Berry Burst, I believe. I've got a piece for the inside that's 4 by 5 1/4. I took one of the card bases, or not the card base, I'm sorry, one of the punch-out card things that were in the kit, and I cut this into thirds. So I just took it and sliced it into 3 pieces. And we are going to stamp on that. We're going to put this on the front. So we're going to kind of put this back together, but leave some space between them. So this is going to be a really simple card. And then I've got a piece that was a sentiment piece that we're going to stamp on and just place on the front. So this is one of those where, you know, the stuff that came in the kit is really doing all the work for us, which is a good thing. Because sometimes you just need an easy button card. And this would be one of those. So let's get this lined up and get some glue on these. So I'm going to just kind of lay this down. I'm not going to push down because I want to make sure I get my spacing right before I totally commit. So we'll put this one here. And then we'll get our last one on, and then we'll maneuver them around and make sure. We need to scoot this one over a bit. That's a little bit too much space between it and its neighbor. So we need more like, probably like that. I'll straighten that up here in just a second. So, okay. Let's maneuver these. Looks pretty good. Let's see. Make sure they're straight. I feel like I'm crooked today. Okay. So, let's see. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and commit. And we'll push these down. This one just a little bit. There we go. Needs to come over just a tad. Okay. So, I'm going to give these a good burnish so that they stick well. Okay, now, the only thing we have left to do is our stamping. So, on our little sentiment piece here, we are going to put, from the kit, the stamp that says, "You brighten my day." No, that's going to go on the inside. "You brighten my day." Just for you is going to go on the outside. So we are going to stamp in Melon Mambo. Actually, you know what? This card base I think is Melon Mambo. So I fibbed. It's not Berry Burst, it's Melon Mambo. If anybody's keeping score. Alright, so let's ink this up. And we're going to just line this up on my mat here so I can hopefully start with it straight. And we'll just get this down centered in the middle, hopefully. We're just going to give that a second or two for the ink to transfer. There we go. So we've got "Just for You." And we'll just pop that up on some dimensionals here in a minute. And on the inside, we've got our "You brighten my day." So we'll go ahead and ink this up and line our inside piece up here. And we'll get this down. Give that a second to transfer. Okay, Doesn't look too bad. Okay, I'm going to close the ink up. Hopefully, we can get away with me not getting it everywhere. Okay, let's get our inside piece on. We'll pop up our sentiment and get some bling on this, and we will be done with this one. So, we're going to center this. Just like that. Okay. Find my dimensionals here so that we can pop our sentiment up. Let's see. I've got some edge pieces here I'm going to use up because I'd like to use this up and throw this away. So let's just peel some of these off and use these. Because, you know, you paid for the whole thing, you might as well use the whole thing. And we'll peel one more. Okay. And we'll get the backs off of these. Maybe. Come on, one more. Okay. Push these to the side. Get those thrown away here in just a second. Alright, so let's take our little sentiment here and I'm just going to put it right down here, kind of centered in the middle. And I've got some pink bling. What's the word? Pink bling we're going to use here. Let's see. Let's use the darker color. So we'll do one there and one here. Let's just do two, just like that. How's that? Okay. So there's our first card. Very cute. Let's move on to our second one. So our second one, we're going to start with a card base of boho blue. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're going to give this a good burnish. We're going to do, let's see, our card is going to go this way. So piece for the inside is 4 by 5 1/4. This is the front of one of the envelopes that I have cut down to 4 by 5 1/4. So this is going to be our first layer. And then we're going to do, actually we're going to do it this way. I just changed my mind. I've got this punch out piece that came in the kit. We're going to put that in the middle. And this was one of the blue flowers that came in the kit that I have cut apart so that we can kind of spread it across here. So let's get started here and we'll get this piece put down. And it looks like, all right, we're going to stamp on that. So we're going to put that to the side so I don't get too confused on what we're doing here. So I'm just going to get glue on this. And you do have to be careful when you're using these envelope pieces not to get too much glue on it because it will wrinkle this paper. It's so thin, it's not like cardstock, so you have to be kind of aware of that. Okay, so we'll get that on there. We're going to stamp on this piece, so I guess we need to do our stamping next. So we'll put this to the side. I'm going to use these same stamps that we just used. So I'm going to clean them really quickly because I don't want to get Melon Mambo in my boho blue. Because we are not trying to make Reese cups, right? Anybody old enough to remember that commercial where the chocolate and the peanut butter, you know, miraculously got put together and they made Reese cups? I think I'm showing my age with that one, but... Okay, so now let's go ahead and get our boho blue ink here. On the outside in here, we're going to do the just for you. So we'll ink this up. And it's kind of a light color, so let's just do a test stamp just because. And not that I don't think that the stamp is stamping right, but I just want to make sure that the color is going to be dark enough to suit me. So let's just, oh yeah, it's going to be fine. Okay, just checking. I didn't want to get it on there and it be too light and ruin this little piece here. Okay, so we're gonna line that up. And this is just barely gonna fit in here. And I do mean just barely. So we're gonna give this a good push. Let that ink transfer. There we go, just for you. We're gonna put that there. And then inside again, we're gonna do the You Brighten My Day. So ink this up. And line this up here. We'll just get this down here at the top. Okay, perfect. All right, let's put this ink away and let's finish this up. So we're going to put this on the inside. So we'll do that. And we'll get this put down, centered up here. Okay, now back on the front. Let's pop this up on some dimensionals. See if I can find, oh, here's the real dimensionals. Okay, so I want to put a couple of these in the middle. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want the edges to be free so I can tuck our little blue flowers under this. And I don't want the dimensionals to be in the way. So we will center this now within this other postage stamp looking piece. And then we're going to just tuck our blue flowers. So let's put a little bit of glue on this one. Not too much, just a little bit. And we will tuck this right on this side. Just like that. Okay, and then we're going to take this one and tuck it on the other side. So again, just a little bit of glue on whatever surface you can get it on. You don't need a lot, it'll stay put. And we're going to tuck this one on this side. Right, like that. Okay. Get our little green leaf tucked under there. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So let's put some bling on this one. We're going to go back to these same sequins here. These white ones I think will be perfect. They tend to pick up the color of what they're around, if that makes sense. So, because they're kind of iridescent in nature. So, let's see. We're going to do one more small one. Let's do it down here. Okay, so there's that. Oops. So, here are our 2 cards that we made today. Very pretty. So, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. You know, join us and make sure you hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. And I will be back tomorrow with Template Tuesday. I've got a couple of really cool templates for this week that we're going to use to make, I think, our last week, well, not necessarily our last week of Valentine's cards, but our last week of pink Valentine's cards, because next week we're going to focus on some masculine Valentine's cards. So I will see you all tomorrow. Have a crafty evening. Bye.